Renaissance Union, all is well and all is in divine order. We got some work to do this morning. And it's just ironic that it's called Labor Day weekend. And it reminds me of that whole thing about knock, seek, find. You know what? Ask, seek, find. And the whole thing, whether you say ask, seek, knock, it's about laboring forward. It didn't say you pray, you meditate, you wait for it. It's a labor. It's work. But I want to put you in the mindset this morning that if you labor, your labor won't be in vain. That you'll seek and you'll find the prosperity that is yours, that you're destined for. And so in this short message, because I don't want to get in the way of Arts, Beats, and Eat, I want to challenge you. And the remaining messages of the year from Reverend Wilma and myself will be challenging. Now, I know you like the affirmations, the poems, and the things that make you feel good all over. But at the same time, you need the things that push you into a new mindset. And that's where we're going the remainder of the year because the clock is ticking. Anybody ever felt like time was moving at a fast pace? Like time is getting away from you? And it just keeps on ticking, ticking, and ticking. And you're wondering every day, where'd the time go? And then it becomes a week and a month, and then time has just escaped. And then you become in the mindset of this wait until 2025. But we can't wait. Time is valuable. Time is a very precious commodity. And so with that mindset that time is very precious, we have work to do. We have to labor. So can we all stand? You knew it was coming. So let's say an affirmation. The mystery of it all, an affirmation. And just say this with high energy. I am in divine expression of God's will and order. I align myself with the higher purpose that God has for me. It's all about me. Embracing the prosperity, the peace, and the power that flows from living in divine harmony. Now I want you to say, I need to get my life in order. You may be seated. Where there's a will, there's a way. And Reverend Wilma and I, for the last 4 weeks, we've been talking about where there's a will, there's a way. And so we know the way is there. But we have to see the way. But I ask you, on your way to where you're going, are you on the path of the way or the path that's blocked by a wall? Now, Michael Beckwith put it this way. He said, in life, we experience things. And part of that thing is a conversion, this fight between God's will and our will. And we talked about that last week, didn't we? But the problem is we still have this tussle going on inside, that it's extended outside. And it's extended outside when we believe things that we see here have greater value than what's inside of us. And so Michael Beckwith says that most often you have to ask yourself, are you traveling the way of the will of God or your own will, and it's leading you to a blockage? And that blockage could be a boulder or a wall in the way. Can you relate to that? Can you relate to that? Are you living on the path where God's blessings are flowing freely to you? Or do you sometimes feel stuck, disoriented, up against the wall? We say that sometimes. I feel like my back is up against the wall, and I just don't know what to do. But I know I got to start doing some things differently. Anybody ever felt like that before or said those things? I know what I'm doing is not working. So at some point, I've got to make the decision to align my will with the will of God, so I will move down that path where the provision will reveal itself. Anybody ever been there before? Knowing that I have to make this decision because what I'm doing is not working. It's creating chaos and confusion and a conflict between who I am and who I want to be. So I don't have to have read 45 books, 500 books to come to this conclusion as being correct. Because I've been there. Out of line, out of order, distorted, disoriented, thinking that what I'm doing is natural, it feels good, it's easy, it's familiar, but it's not working. Anybody ever been there? Where you got familiar with familiar things, but the familiar things aren't moving you towards who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. And so you ask yourself, maybe, just maybe, there's a different way to move forward and I can get out of this chaos, disorder, this confusion. Maybe you're the one that you're feeling the weight of financial struggles. The bills are piling up, and the bills are becoming higher than your faith will allow you to leap. Maybe it's you that the faith is unraveling because the notion of having a relationship and the relationship isn't working because we're not communicating anymore. It seems like we're growing apart. Anybody been in a relationship where you said to yourself, it seems like we're drifting away. We're not communicating. Everyone has. Maybe it's your health. It's not in sync with the healthy person that you want to be. And maybe the worries and the stress of the diagnosis is getting to you. And every pill that you take, you're wondering, when this pill is going to kick in and manifest something different in my health, my strength, what will be different in the next experience? This inner turmoil that breeds doubt, fear, confusion, and it clouds our vision and doesn't allow us to move forward, knowing with great confidence, enthusiasm, excitement that newness is possible. Where there's a will, there's a way. So together, we need to go down this new path that Brett opened us up to, is saying, he's let it go. That's what he was telling us. The old ideology of God and that mythical person in the sky, distant from us, it's no longer what we practice. It's no longer what we preach. Where there's a will, there's a way. And heaven is. Where is heaven? Within. But how do I know when I'm experiencing heaven? I'm happy. I feel good. It's also about order. This orderly arrangement of divine ideas. You see, it's not just about being happy, because the wrong thing can make you feel happy for a moment, right? Well, somebody trying to confess up here in the front row. But remember this, orderly arrangement of divine ideas. That is heaven. And if you know you're moving in that orderly arrangement of your ideas, your thoughts, then you move into the prosperity realm. Prosperity is just not money. It is the experiences that we have. And we have to understand that. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. Where? As it is in heaven. Where's earth? Right here. Where's heaven? So there's an alignment, a congruency between earth and heaven, right? So why are we saying we need to make it to heaven if heaven is right here? Have you ever prayed that? Or you hoped it? I just want to make it to heaven. I want to feel heaven. The idea of heaven and earth in alignment is very critical here. Just like we spent those 4 weeks, Reverend Wilman, talking about will and willpower. And I said last week that will was the most important gift we received. But at the same time, will is the most dangerous gift that we receive as one of our powers. And you remember when I said why? Remember why? I said why? I said because will is the only gift that we receive that allows us to go against God. Free will. Once you understand that, you understand the psychology of being human. But more than that, if you evolutionize that, you understand what it is to be a spiritual being having a human experience. And there's a difference, right? And so you have to understand what's going on with you. And so when we talk about heaven on earth and experiencing that, what are we really saying? I got a battle going on. And it's a battle between my will and God's will. Because this battle is so strong, it's raging, these external things that I see in the earth is so prevalent. More often than not, too often than not, I'm pulled by this greater force called earth, human, desires, ambition. And they pull me away from purpose. And that pulling away from purpose leaves me in chaos and confusion. Can you say chaos and confusion? So it's the will. But if you say, not my will, but thy will be done, what does that do for you? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just like saying, I love you. What does that mean? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because you have to demonstrate it. You understand it? Love, love, love. Can we say love, love, love? We love to love. We love to say, I love you. But until you actually demonstrate it, there it is, homegirl. She said, back it up. Back up what you say by your actions. And so, thy will be done doesn't mean a thing until you bag it up. How can we bag it up is the question. That's the lesson for today. How can we bag it up? How can I demonstrate that I want thy will to be done and I want my will to be aligned with thy will? You got to get this. Y'all with me? Now here we go. We all want our will to be aligned with thy will. But what does it take to do that? Die out to self, surrender. Oh, that sounds good. I surrender all. I surrender all. But that's not it. The will has to be aligned with order. Get this down. The will has to be aligned with order. There has to be order established. What is order? Consistency. Consistency of the things that we believe, the things we say, the things that we do. This is the hardest part of the course of life. Saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and doing what you say, it's the struggle of life. Isn't it? Isn't that the struggle of life? Of writing down your goals and then being disciplined to move into those goals, to lean into them every day in spite of all the distractions all around you. The wall, the stone that form blockades to your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul. So we got to get this. Will and order have to be aligned. So will you order yourself to be aligned with your will that will be consistent with the will of God? That's the question. It's a challenging message today. Because it's personal. What am I doing with my time? Time is ticking and time is passing and it's pressing me. Because I know I want more. I know I want to be more, do more, and have more. But I have to do more of the things that are different, that are consistent in alignment. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done. But when you come this time, I'll be ready to be in alignment. Order. Anybody ever heard that before? Order in the court. You ever seen a scene from a courtroom and the judge is saying, order in this court? The court is the consciousness of your mind. That's what it's all about. Order in the court is your mind that impacts your spirit, that impacts your actions. Actions form your behavior patterns, and your behavior patterns determine whether you live a life that's in order or that's in chaos. Y'all understand? And so I ask you to ask yourself again, am I on the path of the way, or am I on the path of a wall? Think about it. How many people are experiencing a wall in front of you at this moment? It's time to be honest. How many of us can say, I'm experiencing a wall, a boulder, a blockade, and it's preventing me from moving forward? Repeat this with me. I align my will with God's will to prosper me. Order is the law. Easy to remember, Michael. Order is the law. You're a famous attorney. You're in courts. Order is determined by the law. Law, as it is in our spiritual community, is established by principles. So there are principles and there are laws. Those principles and laws determine order. Everybody getting it? Steve, you're an attorney. Principles laws, adherence to those principles and laws determine order. And so when we give you affirmations, principles, and laws, it's all about how well you follow them in an orderly fashion. This is the blueprint for life. Without order, we see ourselves falling for all kinds of things, don't we? Easy. Predators prey on us. Repeat this with me. Order in the court. Court is my mind, consciousness. Order in the court. I need my mind to be in order with my consciousness. That's where we're at today. Charles Fillmore, the founder, co-founder of Unity, wanted to give a perspective, synopsis to it of the Bible. And he said the Bible, if you look at all the things in the Bible, all the stories, all the people, all the allegories, come down to the experience of life that we all experience of three things: generation, degeneration, and regeneration. I'm going to say that again. Generation, degeneration, and regeneration. Now, why would he make that synopsis of the Bible? And the Bible contains 66 books, Brett. And he says it comes down to three things. If you keep reading the Bible, you'll experience this order that there's degeneration, regeneration at the very end, but in the middle, this thing happens. We have to get to know laws and principle and what is order. And so let's say it together: generation, degeneration, and regeneration. So where are we at in all this? Where are we in all of this? Generation, degeneration, and regeneration. It reminds me of Romans chapter 12, verse 2, something that we know very well. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of what? Then you will be able to test and approve what's His good, pleasing, perfect. Do we understand this? Do we really understand this? We're familiar with it. We're usually familiar with the first part. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But we don't go to the next sentence, Reverend Brett. And that sentence says, then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. So if you don't go to the second sentence, you don't understand what's really happening in the first sentence, because the second sentence gives meaning to the first sentence. Let's read that. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. Then you will be able to test. Why is it important for us to be able to test and approve? Test and approve what God's will is. Because everything that comes before you in thought, in spirit, in real-time experiences are not necessarily for you or about you. It's like you say, everything that's glitter, everything that glitters is not gold. It could be something else. But at that moment, it's glittering. So you think it's gold. Every man that looks good. Oh, come on, Will. Come on, Will. Come up here. Man, I can't believe she just bashed us. Equal opportunity employed. Every woman that looks good. Trick question. And it's the same thing my mother used to tell me because I grew up in the hood. We were broke all the time. And there's always ways to make fast cash. And my mother would tell me, Sheldon, all money. Yeah, I must have had the same mother. She used to tell me that. All money ain't good money. Ain't good money. That's it, see? And so that's what it's all about here. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. You have to test everything because our mind is traveling at the speed of light. And if we don't put it to the test, what we're experiencing, it leads to chaos and conditions that are inconsistent with the will that we want to align with the will of God. And so everything has to be tested to make sure it's supposed to be along your path, your journey. And that goes beyond just people and what you hear and what they say and what they do. It goes into what you do, what you put in your body. Is it consistent with the kind of health that you want? The kind of music that you listen to? Is it consistent with the kind of person that you want to emerge into? The kind of programming on TV? Is it the kind of thing that you want to experience in your life? We're programming ourselves constantly by what we allow in. And we have to understand that. And so you have to put everything to the test. So as we move towards the end of the year, it becomes testing time. And we're starting the school year. Freshman move-in was this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And what was amazing about that experience is I was out there. Because it's one of the greatest times of the year for me as a higher education practitioner. To see young people who graduated from high school, but then to see their mom and dad bringing them to college, for the college experience, living in a dorm. And it's amazing that you see strong men, mind, body, and spirit, like Brett Telander. And they're coming in, they got all this stuff, all unnecessary stuff. They fit into a 4x4 room. So me being the curious kind of nutcase that I am, I always like to ask the fathers, why so much stuff? And they always say, Michael, I want to make sure they have everything they need. And in that moment, that mindset, I know that dad is in alignment with God. That God wants us to have everything that we need. But when you move down that road of greater understanding and seeking the knowledge, you understand that what God is really opening us to is that everything you need is already within you. And so when you're seeking, it's always a coming back to that process of knowing that I am that I am. I am one with God. I'm co-creating a mastermind experience. I am about the Father's business. And the Father's business for me puts me on the path of the purpose of knowing that I'm here to create experiences of peace, love, harmony, justice. Not just for me, but for everyone. That's my mission. That's my purpose. So you ask yourself at any given day, which way is up? You ever ask yourself, which way is up? I've been looking down so long that I don't know if there's a different direction, so up must be down. But not so. I seek and find heaven within me. Which way is up? Up is that way. Up is our higher level of purpose, our higher level of being. And so it is. Repeat this with me. I seek and find heaven in me. Heaven and earth are within me. Let's do an affirmation. I align my will with divine order, living in the prosperity, the peace, and the abundance of God's kingdom. I walk in harmony with the divine plan, manifesting my highest potential here and now. I want to just lean in and give you a couple pieces of advice. Is that okay? Just give you, we're going to talk about order throughout this month of September. But for us to make progress down this road, to remove that wall, to remove that boulder, you got to do some things. So let me give you 3 things to just check out in your life. Can you just check these things out in your life? Can you be willing to just check out 3 things? 1, do you need to bring your physical spaces out of chaos? Your physical spaces, your car, your house, your kitchen, your closet, your bedroom, your bathroom. Do you need to declutter? I'm not talking about you personally. I'm just talking about the spaces. Not picking on anybody. Do you need to declutter to create the environment where peace and harmony feel comfortable residing? Do you need to establish a daily routine that keeps you focused and aligned with your highest purpose? Do you have a daily routine? Things that you must do, that you must get done to advance yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to look into that mirror and ask that reflection, did I move forward today or did I take a step backwards? That's the question, because the quest is to move forward. Did I keep a routine? And lastly, did I prioritize my goals with intention? Ensuring that that action that we just talked about leads towards that alignment with God's will. Those are the opportunities. Please, declutter. Move the junk out the way. And sometimes your life is cluttered by the thoughts of people. And maybe right now they don't need to be in your path. So I align my will with divine order, living in the prosperity, the peace, and the abundance of God's kingdom. I walk in harmony with the divine plan, manifesting my highest potential right here and right now. Renaissance Unity, it's time for us to get our life in order. Thank you for having me this morning, and God bless each and every one of you.